There's something sitting in your refrigerator right now that could be slowly stealing your memories. You bought it thinking you were making a healthy choice. Your doctor might have even recommended it. But for those of us over 60, this innocent-looking food is working against your brain in ways most people never discover until it's too late. What's terrifying is how common this mistake is. I've watched it happen to countless people who came to me confused about why their memory was fading despite doing everything they thought was right. They were eating their fruits, taking their walks, staying active with family. Yet, something was quietly sabotaging everything. The shocking truth is that not all fruits are created equal when it comes to your aging brain. Some fruits feed your neurons and sharpen your memory. Others spike your blood sugar, inflame your brain tissue, and accelerate the very cognitive decline you're trying to prevent. What I'm about to share with you goes against everything the food industry wants you to believe. But after working with older adults for decades, I've seen the dramatic difference that removing certain fruits and adding others can make. People who couldn't remember where they put their keys suddenly recalling conversations from weeks ago. Individuals who struggled to follow a simple recipe now managing complex tasks with clarity. The difference isn't magic, it's understanding which fruits are friends and which are enemies to your aging mind. Stay with me because by the end of this conversation, you'll know exactly which 5 fruits are damaging your brain right now and which 5 can actually protect you from dementia. The last fruit I'll reveal has helped transform the cognitive health of people who thought their memory loss was irreversible. If you're over 60 and you value your independence, your memories, and your mental sharpness, what you're about to discover could change the trajectory of your brain health for years to come. Before we dive deep into the fruits that could be harming your brain, let me tell you why this matters so urgently. Your brain after 60 is in a vulnerable state. The natural aging process has already reduced blood flow to your neurons by nearly 15%. Your brain's ability to clear out toxic proteins has slowed down. The protective barriers that keep inflammation away from your thinking centers have become more permeable. This means that foods which might have been harmless in your 30s and 40s now have a completely different impact. A fruit that barely raised your blood sugar 20 years ago can now send it soaring, triggering a cascade of inflammation that directly damages the memory centers of your brain. This isn't about being dramatic, it's about understanding reality. The connection between what you eat and how well you think becomes more critical with each passing year. Recent research has shown that people who consume certain high-sugar fruits regularly experience measurable shrinkage in their hippocampus, the exact part of your brain responsible for forming new memories. Meanwhile, those who focus on specific low-sugar antioxidant-rich fruits show remarkably slower rates of cognitive decline. The difference can be profound. We're talking about maintaining your ability to live independently versus needing help with basic daily tasks. The choice of which fruits you put in your shopping cart can literally determine whether you remember your grandchildren's names 10 years from now. Danger fruit. Number 1. Canned fruit cocktails in heavy syrup. Let me start with one of the most deceptive products in the grocery store. Those little cups of fruit cocktail that seem so convenient, so harmless, so easy to eat when you're not feeling up to peeling fresh fruit. The problem isn't the fruit itself, it's what it's swimming in. Most canned fruit cocktails are packed in heavy syrup that contains massive amounts of high fructose corn syrup or concentrated fruit juice. When you eat just one small cup, you're consuming more sugar than your brain can safely handle. Your blood sugar spikes dramatically within minutes. This isn't like eating a fresh peach where the natural fiber slows down sugar absorption. This is a direct hit of refined sugar wrapped around mushy fruit pieces. What happens next is invisible but devastating. Your pancreas releases a flood of insulin to deal with all that sugar. This insulin surge doesn't just affect your body, it crosses into your brain. Over time, your brain cells become resistant to insulin signals. This means your neurons can't efficiently use glucose for energy even when it's available. Your thinking becomes foggy. Your memory retrieval slows down. Tasks that used to be automatic now require conscious effort. Multiple studies have connected regular consumption of high fructose corn syrup with accelerated cognitive decline in older adults. The inflammation it triggers doesn't just affect your brain today, it sets up a pattern of damage that compounds over months and years. I remember working with a woman who prided herself on having fruit cocktail for dessert instead of cookies. She thought she was making the healthier choice, but when we looked at her diet closely, she was consuming these syrup-laden fruits twice a day. Her blood sugar patterns looked like a roller coaster. Within 6 weeks of switching to fresh berries, her mental clarity improved noticeably. She stopped losing her train of thought mid-sentence. Her family commented on how much sharper she seemed. That's the power of removing this hidden threat from your daily routine. If you love the convenience of ready-to-eat fruit, choose options packed in water or their own juice. Better yet, keep fresh fruit washed and ready in your refrigerator. Your brain will thank you. Danger fruit. Number 2, fruit juice. Even the natural kind. This one surprises people because we've been told for generations that orange juice is the breakfast of champions. Let me be clear about something crucial. When you drink fruit juice, even freshly squeezed juice with no added sugar, you're consuming fruit sugar without any of the fiber that normally protects your brain from sugar spikes. Think about it this way. Would you ever sit down and eat 4 oranges in 2 minutes? Of course not. But that's essentially what you're doing when you drink a standard glass of orange juice. All that fructose and glucose hits your bloodstream at once with nothing to slow it down. The research on this is sobering. Studies following older adults for years have found that those who regularly consume fruit juice show faster rates of brain shrinkage, particularly in the hippocampus. This is the memory center we talked about earlier. Even more concerning, daily fruit juice consumption has been linked to smaller total brain volume in people over 60. Think about that for a moment. The beverage you thought was giving you vitamins is actually associated with your brain physically shrinking faster than it should. The mechanism behind this is related to what scientists call glycation. When excess sugar circulates in your blood, it binds to proteins in your brain tissue, forming harmful compounds that damage neurons and blood vessels. This process accelerates cognitive aging. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but what about the vitamin C? What about the antioxidants? Here's the reality. You can get all those nutrients from whole fruits without the dangerous sugar spike. An orange eaten whole takes longer to consume, provides filling fiber, and delivers the same vitamins without overwhelming your system. I've worked with people who were shocked to discover their beloved morning juice habit was contributing to their afternoon brain fog and evening memory lapses. One gentleman had been drinking 2 large glasses of juice daily for 30 years. His fasting blood sugar was creeping up despite him not being diabetic. When he switched to eating 2 pieces of fruit instead, within 3 months his mental clarity improved so dramatically, his wife thought he had started taking some new medication. He hadn't. He had simply stopped flooding his brain with liquid sugar. Danger fruit number 3, dried fruits like dates, raisins, and dried mango. Walk down the snack aisle and you'll see dried fruits marketed as nature's candy, a healthy alternative to processed sweets. But here's what they don't tell you. The drying process concentrates the sugar content to levels that are anything but brain-friendly for someone over 60. A single handful of raisins contains more sugar than a candy bar. 6 dates pack enough sugar to spike your blood glucose higher than eating a donut. This isn't an exaggeration, it's simple mathematics. When water is removed from fruit, what's left behind is an incredibly dense package of natural sugars with minimal fiber to slow absorption. Your body doesn't care whether sugar comes from dates or from table sugar. It responds the same way with an insulin surge, inflammation, and stress on your brain's energy systems. What makes dried fruits particularly problematic is that they're so easy to overeat. You'd feel full after eating 3 fresh apricots. But dried apricots, you can mindlessly consume 15 without blinking, each one delivering a concentrated hit of sugar. Many commercially dried fruits have even more problems. They're treated with sulfites to preserve color and prevent spoilage. These sulfites can interfere with the absorption of essential minerals like zinc and magnesium that your brain desperately needs for optimal function. I've seen older adults using dates as a daily sweet treat, thinking they're making a virtuous choice. Meanwhile, their blood sugar stays elevated for hours after eating just 3 or 4 dates. This chronic elevation creates persistent inflammation in brain blood vessels. It impairs the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to neurons over time. This contributes to the exact cognitive decline they're trying to avoid. One patient came to me concerned about increasing forgetfulness. She kept a bag of dried mango strips in her purse and ate them throughout the day as a healthy snack. When we calculated how much sugar she was consuming from this habit alone, it exceeded 40 grams daily. No wonder her memory was suffering. After switching to fresh fruit and nuts, her cognitive function stabilized and began improving. Danger fruit number 4, very sweet tropical fruits in excess. Tropical fruits like mango, pineapple, and papaya are delicious. They're packed with vitamins and enzymes that can be beneficial in moderation, but the key word is moderation. These fruits are naturally very high in sugar compared to berries or apples. A large ripe mango can contain over 40 grams of sugar. That's nearly as much as a can of soda. When someone over 60 eats a mango smoothie bowl topped with granola for breakfast, they're essentially starting their day with a sugar bomb that sets their brain up for inflammation and energy crashes. The problem intensifies because many older adults have developed some degree of insulin resistance without knowing it. Their bodies no longer process sugar as efficiently as they once did, so that tropical fruit that barely affected their blood sugar at age 40 now sends it soaring at age 65. This repeated spiking and crashing of blood glucose is particularly damaging to brain function. It impairs the formation of new memories. It makes it harder to concentrate. It disrupts sleep quality, which your brain needs for clearing out toxic waste products. The cascade of problems from eating too much sweet tropical fruit extends far beyond the immediate sugar spike. I'm not saying you can never enjoy a piece of mango or pineapple. I'm saying that making these super sweet fruits a daily habit puts your brain health at risk. The research is clear that people who consume large amounts of high-sugar fruits, even natural fruits, show faster cognitive decline than those who focus on lower sugar options. One study followed older adults for over 10 years and found that those in the highest category of fruit sugar consumption had measurably poorer performance on memory tests and showed more signs of brain aging on imaging scans. This wasn't about occasionally enjoying fruit. This was about patterns of daily overconsumption. If you love tropical fruits, treat them as an occasional pleasure rather than a dietary staple. Your brain will function better on stable blood sugar than on the roller coaster these sweet fruits create. Danger fruit. Number 5, fruit-based snack chips and processed fruit products. The marketing on these products is brilliant. They show you pictures of wholesome fruit. They use words like baked and natural. They position themselves as the healthy alternative to potato chips. But here's what you need to know. Most fruit chips, fruit crisps, and similar products are deep-fried in low-quality vegetable oils and often coated with added sugars. What you're actually eating is oxidized fat, combined with concentrated fruit sugar, possibly the worst combination for your aging brain. The oils used in these products, typically palm oil or refined sunflower oil, become damaged during the high heat frying process. They form compounds that promote inflammation throughout your body, including in your brain. When you combine damaged fats with high sugar content, you create a double assault on your cognitive function. The sugar spikes your blood glucose and triggers insulin resistance. The oxidized fats cross into your brain and contribute to the buildup of harmful proteins associated with Alzheimer's disease. Studies have shown that people who regularly consume fried snack foods, even fruit-based ones, have higher rates of cognitive decline and dementia. The convenience of grabbing a bag of banana chips comes at a steep price for your brain health. These products have had all the protective fiber removed or degraded. They're designed to be addictively crunchy and easy to overeat. Before you know it, you've consumed the sugar equivalent of 6 bananas plus a significant amount of inflammatory fat. I worked with someone who had replaced her afternoon cookie habit with dried apple chips, feeling virtuous about the switch. She didn't realize the apple chips contained added sugar and were fried in palm oil. Her cholesterol climbed, her mental clarity decreased, and she complained of afternoon fatigue. When we eliminated these processed fruit products and replaced them with actual fresh fruit and a handful of raw nuts, the difference was remarkable. Her energy stabilized, her focus improved, her cholesterol numbers began moving in the right direction. The lesson is simple. If fruit doesn't look like it came from nature, if it's been fried, sweetened, or processed into chips, it's no longer a brain-healthy food regardless of what the packaging claims. Now that you understand which fruits to avoid, let's talk about the powerful fruits that can actually protect and even restore brain function as you age. These aren't miracle foods, but they contain specific compounds that have been scientifically proven to support cognitive health, reduce inflammation, and help maintain the neural connections that keep your memory sharp. Protective fruit. Number 1, blueberries, nature's memory medicine. If there's one fruit that deserves to be called brain food, it's the blueberry. These small berries pack an extraordinary concentration of compounds called anthocyanins, which give them their deep blue color. But anthocyanins do something remarkable in your brain. They cross the protective barrier between your bloodstream and your brain tissue, something very few nutrients can do. Once inside your brain, they go to work reducing inflammation, protecting neurons from damage, and actually improving communication between brain cells. Multiple research studies have demonstrated that older adults who consume blueberries regularly show measurable improvements in memory tests within just weeks. What makes this even more impressive is that the improvements aren't temporary. Long-term blueberry consumption has been associated with slower rates of cognitive decline over many years. In one significant study, people who ate blueberries several times per week reduced their risk of developing dementia by nearly 45% compared to those who rarely ate berries. The anthocyanins in blueberries appear to protect the specific regions of your brain responsible for making and storing memories. They improve blood flow to neural tissue. They help your brain cells use energy more efficiently. They even seem to promote the growth of new connections between neurons, something scientists once thought was impossible in the aging brain. I have seen remarkable transformations in people who added just half a cup of blueberries to their daily routine. One person who had been struggling to remember recent conversations found that within 2 months of eating blueberries every morning, her family stopped having to repeat information to her. Another individual who couldn't follow the plot of television shows anymore regained the ability to track complex storylines. These aren't isolated cases. The scientific literature is filled with evidence supporting blueberries as one of the most powerful brain-protective foods available. Fresh or frozen both work excellently. In fact, frozen blueberries picked at peak ripeness may contain even more anthocyanins than fresh ones that have been sitting in stores for days. Make these little blue powerhouses a non-negotiable part of your daily diet if you're serious about protecting your memory. Protective fruit number 2, pomegranate, the circulation enhancer. Your brain is an energy-hungry organ. Despite being only about 2% of your body weight, it uses roughly 20% of your oxygen and nutrients. As you age, the blood vessels that deliver these vital resources to your brain become less flexible and efficient. This is where pomegranate becomes critically important. This fruit is loaded with compounds called punicensins, powerful antioxidants that have a remarkable effect on your vascular system. They help your blood vessels relax and dilate, improving blood flow throughout your body and especially to your brain. Better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reaching your neurons. This translates directly into better memory, faster thinking, and improved mental endurance. Research has shown that people who consume pomegranate regularly have measurable increases in blood flow to memory-critical areas of the brain. Some studies have found improvements in memory performance after just a few weeks of daily pomegranate consumption. The polyphenols in pomegranate also combat oxidative stress, a type of cellular damage that accelerates brain aging. They protect the delicate lipids that make up brain cell membranes. They reduce inflammation in blood vessel walls, keeping them supple and responsive. I recommend eating the fresh seeds called arils rather than drinking pomegranate juice. The seeds provide fiber that moderates sugar absorption while delivering all the beneficial compounds. If you do choose juice, make sure it's pure pomegranate with no added sugars and limit yourself to a small glass. One person I worked with had been experiencing what she described as brain fog and difficulty finding words. She started eating half a pomegranate's worth of seeds every day. Within a month, she reported feeling mentally sharper. She was participating in conversations more actively. She wasn't searching for words nearly as often. The combination of improved circulation and reduced oxidative stress had made a tangible difference in her daily cognitive function. Pomegranate is a fruit that truly earns its superfood status when it comes to brain health. Protective fruit. Number 3, apples. The everyday brain guardian. There's wisdom in the old saying about an apple a day keeping the doctor away, especially when it comes to brain health. Apples contain a flavonoid called quercetin, concentrated primarily in the skin. Quercetin is a powerful neuroprotective compound that shields brain cells from inflammation and oxidative damage. But here's the critical part. You must eat the apple with its skin intact to get these benefits. The flesh alone doesn't provide the same level of protection. Quercetin works by stabilizing cell membranes, making neurons more resistant to damage from free radicals and inflammatory molecules. It also helps regulate blood sugar, preventing the spikes and crashes that impair cognitive function. The fiber in whole apples, particularly the soluble fiber called pectin, slows down sugar absorption and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. This might seem unrelated to brain health, but emerging research shows a strong connection between gut health and cognitive function. The bacteria in your intestines produce compounds that influence brain chemistry and inflammation levels. By supporting a healthy gut microbiome, apples indirectly support your brain health. Studies following older adults over many years have found that those who regularly eat apples show slower rates of cognitive decline compared to those who don't. I have encouraged countless people to make apples a daily habit, and the results speak for themselves. One gentleman who had been experiencing increasing forgetfulness started eating an apple with breakfast every day. He chose organic varieties and always ate the skin. 3 months later, he told me he was having an easier time keeping track of appointments and remembering tasks he needed to complete. His wife confirmed that he seemed more mentally present and less confused. Apples aren't exotic or expensive. They're available year-round. They're easy to carry with you. They require no preparation. Yet, they deliver consistent, reliable brain protection through their unique combination of quercetin, fiber, and gentle natural sugars. This is a simple change that can yield profound long-term benefits for your cognitive health. Protective fruit number 4, kiwi fruit, the antioxidant powerhouse. Most people underestimate the nutritional power of kiwi fruit. This small, fuzzy fruit contains more vitamin C per serving than oranges, and vitamin C is crucial for brain health in ways most people don't realize. As you age, your brain accumulates oxidative damage from free radicals. Vitamin C is one of your brain's primary defenses against this damage. It neutralizes harmful molecules before they can damage neurons. It supports the production of neurotransmitters needed for memory and learning. It protects the delicate fats that make up brain cell membranes. Without adequate vitamin C, these protective functions decline. Kiwi fruit also contains significant amounts of vitamin E, another brain protective antioxidant, plus folate and potassium. This combination of nutrients works synergistically to support cognitive function. The vitamin E protects fatty tissues in the brain. The folate supports the production of brain chemicals essential for mood and memory. The potassium helps regulate the electrical activity that allows neurons to communicate. Research has connected higher levels of these nutrients in the blood with better cognitive performance and slower rates of mental decline in older adults. What makes kiwi fruit particularly valuable is its low impact on blood sugar despite its sweet taste. It has a lower glycemic index than many other fruits, meaning it won't spike your glucose levels the way tropical fruits or dried fruits do. I've worked with people who were trying to increase their fruit intake, but were worried about blood sugar. Kiwi fruit became their go-to option because it satisfied their desire for something sweet, while supporting rather than undermining their brain health. One woman told me she had been struggling with low energy and difficulty concentrating. After adding 2 kiwi fruit to her daily routine, one at breakfast and one as an afternoon snack, she noticed increased mental stamina. She could focus on tasks longer without feeling mentally exhausted. The combination of stable blood sugar and abundant antioxidants made a measurable difference in her cognitive performance. Protective fruit. Number 5, avocado, the brain fuel exception. You might not think of avocado as a fruit, but botanically it is, and it's arguably one of the most important fruits for brain health after 60. Unlike other fruits, avocado is low in sugar and high in healthy fats, particularly monounsaturated fats. Your brain is nearly 60% fat by composition. The quality of fats you consume directly impacts the structure and function of your brain cells. The fats in avocado help build and maintain healthy cell membranes throughout your brain. They improve the fluidity of these membranes, making it easier for neurons to communicate with each other. This translates into faster thinking, better memory retrieval, and improved overall cognitive function. Avocados also contain significant amounts of vitamin E, which we've discussed as brain protective, plus lutein, a carotenoid that crosses into the brain and has been specifically linked to better cognitive performance in older adults. Studies have shown that people with higher lutein levels in their blood and eye tissue perform better on tests of memory processing speed and executive function. The combination of healthy fats, vitamin E, and lutein makes avocado uniquely valuable for protecting against age-related cognitive decline. The fats in avocado also help you absorb fat-soluble nutrients from other foods you eat with them, multiplying the brain health benefits of your entire meal. I've seen transformative results in people who added half an avocado to their daily diet. One person who had been experiencing what he called mental sluggishness started eating avocado every morning. Within weeks, he reported feeling mentally sharper. He was making decisions more quickly, He wasn't struggling to remember names the way he had been. His overall cognitive performance felt more like it had years earlier. The steady supply of quality fats was giving his brain the structural building blocks it needed to function optimally. Another benefit of avocado is its ability to help stabilize blood sugar when eaten with other foods. Adding avocado to a meal slows down the absorption of any sugars in that meal, preventing the spikes that damage brain function. This makes it an excellent companion to other fruits, moderating their impact on your blood glucose. The choices you make about which fruits to eat aren't trivial decisions. They're daily votes for or against your cognitive health. Every time you reach for canned fruit and syrup instead of fresh berries, you're choosing inflammation over protection. Every time you drink fruit juice instead of eating whole fruit, you're choosing sugar spikes over steady brain fuel. But the opposite is also true. Every time you add blueberries to your breakfast, you're actively protecting your memory centers. Every time you eat an apple with its skin, you're shielding your neurons from damage. Every time you enjoy pomegranate seeds, you're improving blood flow to your brain. What I want you to understand is that brain health isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create through hundreds of small choices made consistently over time. The person who maintains sharp memory and clear thinking into their 80s and 90s isn't just lucky. They've likely been making brain-protective food choices for decades. But here's the good news. It's never too late to start. Your brain has remarkable capacity to respond to improved nutrition. People in their 70s and 80s have experienced measurable improvements in cognitive function after changing their fruit choices. The brain you have next year is being built by the choices you make today. Take a moment to think about your own fruit consumption. Are you regularly eating the dangerous 5? Canned fruits, fruit juices, dried fruits, overly sweet tropical fruits, and processed fruit snacks. If so, you now understand why your memory might not be as sharp as you'd like, but you also now know the solution. Replace those brain-damaging choices with the protective 5. Blueberries for their memory-enhancing anthocyanins, pomegranate for improved brain circulation, apples for their neuroprotective quercetin, kiwi fruit for essential antioxidants, and avocado for the healthy fats your brain desperately needs. Your brain after 60 is precious. It holds your memories, your personality, your ability to live independently. It deserves to be protected with the same care you'd give to any other valuable possession. The information I've shared with you today gives you the power to make informed choices. You don't have to guess anymore about which fruits help and which hurt. You have clear evidence-based guidance. Now, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue eating the fruits that are slowly stealing your memory? Or will you make the switch to fruits that protect and preserve your cognitive function? I hope you'll choose the path that leads to maintaining your mental sharpness, your independence, and your quality of life. Your brain has carried you faithfully for over 60 years. It's time to return the favor by giving it the nutrition it needs to stay strong for all the years ahead. Thank you for investing this time in understanding your brain health.